together, okay? Do you know each other? No? Well, okay, you gotta, it's Saturday, it's a good day to make a new friend, huh? Okay? My name is Bob Reynolds, my wife Sue, and my friend Al Perret. And we have a collection here of really old stuff. And we want to take a trip through time.
Come under here and go stand by.
You can go on this side if you want.
Want to take your coat off?
Sure.
Okay. Want to take your shoes off?
No, thank you.
All right, great. Now, what's your name?
Sammy.
Sammy. Okay, Sammy, I would like you to pick that up, then we'll talk about it.
Oh, God, sorry.
Okay? Yeah, there, pick it up. Quickly, come on. Nobody is bashful here, come on. All right? Over the table, don't drop it on anything. You don't believe, you wouldn't believe all the paperwork Peggy has to write if you drop that on the table.
Yes, it's heavy.
Okay, come in, here we go. Come on, let's step back a little bit. Two hands, over the table, whoa. The release about damage to the table, didn't we? Okay, now, Sammy,
Yes,
describe it to me.
I think it's iron.
You think it's iron? Okay? Either one of you, go ahead. It's an easy number to remember. Ready? 4.567 billion years old. It's as old as our solar system. And it is a meteorite that fell in what is now South America 4,000 to 5,000 years ago. And it is, you were half right, it's nickel iron, okay? Nickel iron, and it's from the center of an asteroid. And about 4 months ago, some meteorite hunters in Argentina, what is now Argentina, found a 48-ton piece of that same fall, okay? That's like dying and going to heaven. I'd give up collecting if I found that. Of course, I don't know what I'd do with a 48-tonner, but, okay?
Put it in a museum.
Mm.
Put it in a museum.
Yep, I think that's where it wound up because the Argentine government took it. Okay, so now, 4.567 billion years old. Traveled in space, fell 4,000 to 5,000 years ago. However, from 4.567 billion years ago, for the next 600,000 years, long time? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a long time. The Earth was just, you ever see the pictures of Hawaii, of lava flowing out of the mountain in Hawaii and all that?
Yeah.
Okay, the whole Earth was like that. There was no oxygen in the air, no life as we know it, and then something happened, and the first form of life happened. And the first form of life, Sam, take that. Okay, every other person, take it, pass it on. Okay, take it, pass it on. Take it, pass it on. Nice and smooth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, that is a fossil of the first form of life on Earth. All right? Dad, come forward. Patience, come on, come on. Nobody doesn't participate, Mom. You too. All right? Show Dad, I'm behind you. Okay? Those are fossils of the first form of life on Earth, 3.8 billion years old from the Greenstone Belt in southern Africa. And that is not an animal, not a plant, it's just life, CYANOBACTERIA. And we have some today, we still have it today. What does it look like?
You can't really see it if you needed like a microscope.
That's right, but if in colonies, in whole bunches, it's the slimy green stuff you see floating in a pond. We still have it, CYANOBACTERIA. So, do you know what is a pond with slimy green stuff? You know what is a pond with slimy green stuff? No? You do? Okay. Say thank you, because that's where the oxygen that we breathe came from. It started, and it took several billion years, hundreds of billion years, to build up enough oxygen so that we could have photosynthesis, and then the life would get more and more complex. So, this is millions of cyanobacteria, okay? Compressed over a long period of time, 3.8 billion years, and whenever you talk about fossils, time, temperature, and pressure. Temperature and pressure, up, down. But time, billions of years. That's how it became a rock. And why is it so nice and smooth? Somebody polished it, okay? And cyanobacteria also lived in the water, and when it was in the water, it was like a sticky glue. Okay, take that one. And it's like a sticky glue, and what it did was this water would wash the sand over that sticky glue. It would make a layer. See the rings? See those rings in there? Okay? Those are layers of cyanobacteria. It's called a bacterial mat. And very few places in the world today do we have the bacterial mats like that. But this is from Herkimer, New York, all right, from the Ancient Diamonds mine. And this is from Morocco. And did you see something unusual about that one?
What?
The girls always find this. There's a Herkimer diamond in there. And what happened was, and here's another Herkimer diamond here, all right, see it in there? The little one. And here's a much bigger one. Yeah. Okay. And the way this Herkimer diamond was formed millions of years ago was the black stuff is anthracite. That's a carbon material, all right? It was a plant at one time. It died, made a void, a hole. Into that hole flowed water with molecules of quartz. Okay, see them? I'll trade you. All right? Okay, guys, see that? All right? Molecules of quartz. And those quartz molecules only combine, only hook up together in a certain direction. So you have double terminated, which means there's points on both ends. Okay? You got it. All right? So, Herkimer diamonds. First form of life, cyanobacteria. It also did something else that's very important. Okay? Oops, ouch. Okay? And it also did something else very important for us. And it caused iron to oxidize out of the water, molecules of iron. And what is oxidation? What do we call oxidation? Rust. Right? Rust. So over billions of years, what happened is the iron precipitated out of the water as iron oxide, and it formed these layers, and this is called banded iron, and this is from Australia. Kind of pretty, isn't it? This is the way it really looks. This is how the kind has been coated. Okay? See that? So over billions of years, this was laid up. And in Australia, they have cubic miles of this. It's one of the biggest exports that is shipped out of Australia. Okay, banded iron. We have the same thing here in Michigan, the Upper Peninsula. And that's a, what is it, hematite? The jasper hematite. And again, this one's been coated also. Okay? All right? And do we like having iron?
Yeah.
What do we do with iron?
We make cars, we make all sorts of things.
All sorts of things. Good, good. Okay? All right, so as we move along through time, what's going to happen? The life is going to, the animals, plants, and so forth are going to get much more complex, And the first really successful animal, this is a trilobite, all right? Older kids, what does the prefix in a word, T-R-I, tri mean?
Three.
Three, exactly right. 3 parts, 1, 2, 3, 3 lobes, okay? So this is from Morocco, lived on the bottom in the water, and it was a real scavenger. It just ate anything it found, okay? So, very prolific, there's like 6,000 species of trilobites at their height. And here's another one. Take a look at that.
Wow, it looks great.
Yeah. Okay, take it, pass it on. Take it, pass it on. And they had all kinds of shapes.
It looks like
Here's a real fancy one.
maybe you can put it in the
Yeah, really, really complex. All right? Okay? Right, okay. We don't have anything here you can't pass around. And if you're in the Atlas Mountains of Morocco, this is the way you really find a real one, okay? We suspect that some of these are not correct. The Moroccans collect the pieces and then they mold them to make so it represents a real trilobite, but it's only in pieces, okay? And what do they do when they get nervous?
They curl up in a ball.
They curl up in a ball, that's right. They curl up in a ball. What other animal alive today curls up in a ball?
Armadillo.
An armadillo?
Yeah, armadillo.
What else?
A pill bug.
A roly-poly,
A pill bug.
also known as a
Pill bug.
pill bug, right? And what else?
a woolly caterpillar.
A woolly caterpillar. And another one that nobody guesses, it's a pangolin. The pangolin is sort of like a armadillo, but it's got a problem. It tastes good. Okay. All right. So the next form of life, that's an enrolled trilobite. How big were they? When times were good, they could be almost any size. So here's another Moroccan one.
Could they be bigger than us?
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. That we have some fossils, that small ones, but there is an animal in New York State fossils called a Eurypterid, and they were like, some of them were like 6, 8 feet tall. Yes.
Were there any the size of this building?
No, not that big. No.
Maybe it's
Okay. Anything else?
What was the name of the diamond again back there?
Herkimer diamond. It's not a diamond. It's a quartz crystal, particularly pure. Okay. All right. So, any questions? No? And what we have here,
Veritable history lesson.
here is a form here. What does this look like?
Coral.
Coral. Coral.
That's cool.
Yeah, okay. Actually, this is bleached coral.
Bleach coral.
Yeah, bleached coral. Because the animal is not here. The animals lived, a polyp lived in each one of these little openings. Okay, take that, pass it around. Take that one, pass it around. There's a bunch here. All right, no, just take the whole box. The whole box. Okay. And here, we have one. My grandson found that and I cut it in half to see how it would grow. And coral. Do we still have coral today?
yes.
Yes.
Do we have a problem with coral today? I already told you the word, coral bleaching. The water gets too warm, the coral, the polyps die. All right, and that's a big problem. If you go to Michigan, yeah, that's a pretty one, isn't it? If you go to Michigan, here's another coral called a Petoskey stone. It's named after the town near where they're found. And if you're walking along the shore, this is what they look like before you polish them. Okay? So if you saw a rock like this, what would you do about it? Probably just walk by it, right? Okay? But not for us rock hounds. Also, the coral have, this is a horned coral, this is one piece of coral. And see inside that hole right there? That's where the polyp lived, all right? So they lived in the water like this, and it's a horned coral, an individual, okay? That's an individual. And this is a group of horned coral,
Wow, that's
right?
quite a
Okay? Now, this one, that one, is a colony. In other words, those are all related to each other. These are not necessarily related to each other. So this is a group, this is a colony. Okay? And, any questions so far?
I have a question.
Good.
I have a question.
Al, what do you think that is? Al's a mineral guy.
I've seen this before. It is siderite.
Siderite.
Siderite is an iron ore.
Oh, thank you.
And where did you find this?
An older mine.
In Roxbury?
Yeah, near
There
Roxbury.
you go.
Yeah.
That's where it came from. That's
Yeah, like
siderite.
there's an old mine. They're like an old mine shaft.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And you know what they made with the siderite as an iron ore? You know what they made
No.
with that?
No.
The cannons for the Revolutionary War.
Whoa.
In that, the Roxbury, way up in the corner, north.
They have
What's
little,
going?
they have little back caves where the old mine was.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. They also have the furnaces and all
Yeah.
kinds of neat stuff.
The reason why part of that is black, they had to what they call cook it first. They had to preheat it, and then it would go to the blast furnace where they would get the iron out of it.
They have,
If you go onto the ct.gov website for the DEEP, there is a map of Connecticut, and you will see pretty much right down the center of Connecticut, there's fault lines. And you heard of William Comfort Tiffany and the things that he made, like the chandelier?
Oh, yeah, oh, Tiffany, yeah.
Okay, just north of Gillette's Castle is the Gillette
Quarry.
Quarry, where
Really?
Tiffany first collected those minerals.
For jewelry.
I'm not from
Yeah,
Connecticut.
to make jewelry.
They were precious stones that they, well, semi-precious that they can cut. We have a lot of gemstones in this state that you probably don't even know about.
I didn't know, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just a quick question, that's what you're bringing to the 4-H fair, your minerals, right? They're gonna have a display at the 4-H fair in August too, so I'll be advertising
all
that.
3 days.
and animals getting more and more complex. This animal,
It's an ammonite. Ammonite.
right, an ammonite.
He watches a lot of dinosaur shows.
Oh, you do, huh? Okay, now, here's what I want to tell you about fossils, all right? The hard parts, like a shell, can be fossilized easily. The soft parts usually deteriorate, they don't survive. Sucked in water, spit it out, it's called jet propulsion. Okay. How did they go up and down? That's this way. Oh, by the way, it's a good thing they had a hard shell because they couldn't see where they were going, right? Okay, you take one of those shells and examine it. When the animal was little, he had a little house. As he grew bigger, what did he do? He made a bigger chamber for the animal to live in. Okay? Now those chambers are important because when the animal would put water in, what would happen to it? It would go down. Take water out, put air in there, what would it do?
Go up.
It would go up. What do we call that? Submarine. All right? Okay? All right? So, these ammonites and gonatites, we've got pictures of them like 10 feet in diameter. When times were good, they just kept growing and growing and growing. And they're related to the squids of today. In other words, this guy here, all right, without the shell, essentially what you have is a squid. Okay? And they lived in colonies. Okay, go ahead, pass that around.
Wow, that's...
All right, here's another one.
Whoa.
All right, and they could be straight. This is a baculite. All right, this is a baculite, a straight ammonite. In other words, the animal was in the front like this. Or it could be shaped like this.
Wow.
We've got one of these at home that's about this long.
Whoa.
Well, I don't bring it because I dropped it and broke it. Had to glue it back together. But look at that shape, huh?
Yeah, it looks like a seahorse tail.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Well, I call it the trombone, so, okay? And when you talk about fossils, there's a lot of interesting things that can happen. It's a really unique set of events gives you a fossil. For example, this ammonite died,
There we go.
the animal died, the shell is preserved, okay? Now, is that shell really deep looking?
I don't have this.
All right. The shell itself has absorbed iron pyrite,
Pyrite.
molecules of iron pyrite.
I have pyrite.
You do, huh? What's the other name for iron pyrite?
Fool's gold.
Fool's gold, exactly right.
It didn't
Those-
cost that much.
See the cubes?
Fool's gold.
Right?
Not
And
gold.
the iron pyrite, if you look at this iron pyrite with a microscope, you would see a bunch of little cubes, just like this, but a lot smaller. Okay?
This is so light. This is so light.
It is. You don't think, when you say iron pyrite, it's not iron like the meteorite, so it's not going to be heavy. So, this is from Madagascar. It's been polished and coated, right? See how pretty it is? So when you look at all of these lines that are here, they're called sutures. They're holding the pieces of the shell together. What else would we use sutures for?
This is a little.
Anybody ever got stitches?
No.
No.
Lucky
Oh
you.
boy, you must stay out of a lot of trouble, huh? Okay.
I had, but I never.
And size, shape, maybe wide like this, maybe narrow, maybe small, okay? If you come to one of our rock shows, and there's some brochures on the back table for one in Danbury, I think, is that Danbury?
Oh, I don't know.
What you have, you can get like little earrings or necklaces and stuff, okay? Ammonites. It's tough traveling through time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, what does this look like?
Well,
A horn, kind of. Looks like a giant tooth. Or like,
a dinosaur?
No? Long before the dinosaurs.
is it a giant tooth?
I
This
think
is,
I know. I think it might be a stalactite or a stalagmite.
no,
The coelacanth's tail?
a what?
Coelacanth's tail?
No. This is a branch from a lepidodendron tree.
Oh, we're not even close.
Wow.
Now, this is a good example of a replacement fossil. Let me tell you about this period in time, the Carboniferous. So the sediment filled where the tree was, all the little cells, and look, we can see the bark, we can see the shape of the bark. Not only that, we can see how thick the bark was. Okay, you see that, you boys? All right. And we can also see the core of the tree. And what is it now? It's a rock. It's a replacement fossil.
Replacement fossil.
The tree was replaced by sediment. The next animal is a crinoid. Now, crinoids are still around today in the form of a sea lily. And a sea lily and a crinoid, it anchors in the water, lives in the water, and just kind of floats around. And if you go shopping in the right place, you could find it like this.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, this is a head. Oops. A head, all right? And this guy, when it died, it fell into the mud, the sediment. The sediment closed over it, sealed it. The animal deteriorated, and into that void flows water with quartz molecules. Cool, huh?
Yeah.
All right, see that? Okay.
Oh, it looks like
Back row, see? Okay? All right? Yeah.
It feels like minerals stuck in there.
Guess what?
What?
There are minerals stuck in there. Called quartz, okay?
I have.
Went extinct 65 million years ago?
No.
Yes, but it's wrong.
Yeah, you're
wrong.
right. You're right. You're right, it's
Troodon.
wrong. Okay.
Troodons.
Rock hunting, or fossil hunting. A fellow that we know in our Meriden and Bristol Club, he was at the Middlefield Dam, and he found this piece of slate, and he split it, and guess what he got?
Close.
Both halves.
Half.
Both halves. See that? That's from right up the road here in Middlefield. Okay? Both halves. All right? How many toes did a dinosaur have?
1, 2, 3.
This dinosaur had 3 toes.
I think 4.
And it is also, yeah, there's dinosaurs that had 4 toes, right? And there's some that had 3 and then like a cutting shark thing, like chicken stew, all right? And that's the state fossil, and it's a trace fossil. And a trace fossil is something that the dinosaur left behind, but it's not part of the dinosaur. Okay, here's a trick question. Coelophysis lived in this area. How many toes? 3, okay. Did it make these footprints?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Somebody asked you a question, all right? Most people think there's only 2 answers, the right answer and the wrong answer. There's another answer, which is nobody knows. So now, here's another trace fossil, okay? Okay, take that. Take that. Okay, take that. Smell it and pass it on. Smell it and pass it on. And pass it to the back row. Smell it and pass it on. Rub it on cheek.
That's what I used to do to my class.
Okay? Okay. When you get home tonight, ask somebody that's at home, guess what I rubbed on my cheek today? They'll never guess. Dinosaur poop.
That's poop.
That's poop. Actually,
It's beautiful, isn't it?
actually, it's at least 65 million years old. It came from China. Nobody's really sure how old it is, but it's more than 65 and less than 235 million years old.
I think
Stuff. If you were to cut this and find little bones in here, what was that animal that left this behind?
that's meat eater.
That's right. If you find twigs and berries in there, what would it be?
Plant eater.
Man eater, herbivore, right? Guy right here.
That's a mammoth.
What kind of mammoth is that?
A woolly mammoth. Woolly.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
Back row, you agree with that? Woolly mammoth? Okay. Hold that. Woolly mammoths have 4 teeth, like this.
Okay, think that the piece of it.
Yeah, I know. I glued this guy back together about 6 times already. So, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is the chewing surface. So if you're in the jaw like this, if it's a lower jaw, all right, that's the chewing surface. The top teeth didn't move, but the jaw moved like this